Seems like the video is a little fuzzy. Here, hold on a second. Oh, here. That's a little bit better. Come on, focus, baby. All right, guys, we're here. I'll get the video sorted out, but guess what? It's getting closer. Getting closer what, Christmas? No. Ren Baker making a decision, so stay tuned.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head, constantly thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative, I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase the bag, I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I gotta taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. No way now, I'll give up everything. If I could see my dreams, make things right, 'cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality. Don't let go. I'll make things right, 'cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality.
I just wanna find a way out, sick of the venom in my brain. Running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this, I just wanna break these chains. Always destined for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many ones that I saw they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started to outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted, created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
I'll give up everything, daunting if I can see my dream, make things right, 'cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality. No way now, I'll give up everything, daunting if I can see my dreams, make things right, 'cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality. Don't let go. Don't let go. I'll make things right, 'cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality.
Well, guys, everybody's clickbaiting, but I'm not clickbaiting here. I know Ren Baker has made a decision. However, his decision is probably not what the majority of the alumni, the donors, the big names, the West Virginia celebs want. So it's a matter of narrowing down his list. He has a decision. He knows who he wants. It's just a matter of, can he get who he wants? And what I'm hearing, and I know, Sean Murray, you want, I'm watching the basketball game too. What he wants and what he's going to get are two different things. And that is the theme of this show tonight. What you want and what you get are two different things. Okay? So what I know is that Ren Baker has a sheet, and the two names on the top of that sheet, from what I've heard, this is going back, 6 o'clock. As of 6 o'clock, Jeff Monken is on his list. Okay? Andy was at the top of his list until Penn State probably counter-offered, sweetened the pot, made him an offer, and now Andy's name is out of the hat. Unfortunately, I think West Virginia might have been used in order to in a lot of these cases, to get more money out of other programs. And they use teams like West Virginia as leverage in order as a bargaining chip. Hey, this guy called me, and the agents are the ones that are guilty of it. So don't hate on these coaches for turning them down. But, there are some good news stories that are out there we'll talk about. Tony Gibson got a job. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to go a little bit about Jeff Monken because I worked at the military academy, although it has been about 15 years since I've been there. I still have friends there. So let's get to the chat. We have a lot of people in here. Let's hit up like Tim Green, who's always in here. We will know the answer on what coach we'll get when Ren Baker says they have the coaching, not until then. So Ren Baker, it's not an outlier that he's hit 2 home runs. Kellogg and DeVries. They're basketball home runs, not a football home run. There's such a thing. But guys, his lists are legit. He plans every year, from what I've heard, that they have almost like a sourcing document where they just go in and they fill it with stats on where the coach is at, who's the agent, how long have they coached, what their record, and it constantly is updated, as coaches win and lose or move positions. So it's a living, breathing document. And with that document, he made the decision in conjunction with interviews. So reports are Baker has met with Rich Rod. Yes, Baker has met with Rich Rod 2 occasions from what I'm hearing. So everybody wants a credible source. At this point, the credible sources are giving us baloney. Okay. Even Hoppy and good sources like Mike Allsty are still here and there like, oh my gosh, you hear one thing. And like in the chat, I think it was Kevin or no. Here we go. WView fan 13. Anthony Beck. Guys, we hear all these things. Like 48 hours ago it was Andy. And then it was, Tony. And then, Mike and Army. Monken would be a good choice. So let's talk about Monken for a second. Let's talk about him. Been in Army for 10 years, maybe 2014. 10 years, right? Doesn't have your typical background. Didn't coach at a big school to begin with. Some backwoods school. I have to look it up here. Let me look. Where did he coach? I before he got to Georgia Southern like 5 years ago, I didn't hear of it. And then the Naval Academy in 2002 to 2002, he was assistant there. Popped to Arizona State. Then he went to Buffalo. I think Buffalo is where he kind of honed his skills. And guys, I harp on this. The academy is a different animal. Okay, you have young men and women. And here we're talking about young men that are playing football that have to have a certain GPA. Not like, right here, but we're talking Brown, Harvard, Yale type of GPA. Okay? Not only does it have to be this gentleman or athlete have to be smart, they have to have leadership characteristics that would be what a United States Army officer would have to possess. So then, mind you, they have to have the size and build to play at Division I football, which this is the hard thing. Because when I was working at the academy, although it's been 10 years ago, 15 years ago, those cats weren't very tall. They were athletic, they were fit, but they have to meet the height and weight standards when they graduate. So why do you care? Why is this important? Because everybody says, well, Monken has to deal with the NIL. The NIL will be a breeze. There are folks on the staff that deal with the NIL. What he has to do is recruit, not using the NIL. He can't entice people in with the promise of money, because at the academy, you get an allotment, you get an allowance. That's it. So I think he would excel and be very successful as the head man at the helm of the West Virginia Mountaineers. So I'm going to read a little bit about Monken here. So in 95, he was a high school coach at J. Sterling Morton High School. He was there for a year. Then he went to Georgia Southern as a running backs coach. Then he was at Navy as a running backs coach. Navy as then Georgia Tech from 08 to 09, Georgia Southern, where he was a head coach. And from 2014 to present, he was at Army. Now, at Army, he's won 3 of his 4 bowl games, ladies and gentlemen. 3 of his 4 bowl games. And the one bowl game he lost was, 4 out of 5. And the one he lost was 2020. Guess who they played? Yes, West Virginia. The West Virginia Mountaineers. They lost to the West Virginia Mountaineers. So, going back, he had 2 tough years, 4-8 in 2014, 2-10, 2015. 16 winning record, 8-5, won the bowl game, 10-3 and 17, 11-2 and 18 with a bowl win. 2019 losing record, 29-1, 9-3. 21 they were 9-4. 22 they were 6-6. 23 6-6, and this year the Black Knights are 11-1, with their only loss being a very good Notre Dame team. And they were competitive for the first half. So there you have it. That's Monken in a nutshell. Now, let's get to the chats, and then we'll talk about old Rich Rod. And I'm guys, 1 minute I'm pro Rich Rod, and then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, no way. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. It's, man, it's tough. And we'll talk about it. But let's go to the chat here. See what everybody, we have a lot of folks in chat. I appreciate everybody being here. Yeah, WV fan, Nick Saban. Nick Saban was never going to happen. However, it was really interesting. And, you know, God bless Pat McAfee for bringing West Virginia into the national conversation. So, what do we have here? Okay. Josh W. Johnston says, bring Rich Rod home. Kelly McCourt says, not Rich Rod. Kevin says, that Tavon Austin performance against OU was one of the greatest of all time. Shame it was on Fox and ignored by ESPN. That's so true. If when a great play happens, it's like they just crap on it if it's on it, if it just happens to happen on, you know, maybe Fox has it on or ESPN has it on and Fox doesn't mention it. I hate that. That's terrible. Let's talk about Rich Rod, and then I'll get to more chats. Guys, we all know the story of Rich Rod, but I'm going to bring you back memory lane because maybe you forgot something. Maybe you just, because I was reading through this and I'm like, man, I forgot that. Really? That happened? What? So here we go. Supposedly Rich Rod invented something that maybe you've heard about. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called the read option or spread option, right? So it's my understanding is a version of the spread offense. So it was supposed to be a pass first version that was used, but he didn't invent it. It was used, and he kind of used it, Rich Rod, at Glenville State, and then they tweaked it at Tulane with Sean King. Then they took it to South Cackalack. Clemson tweaked it. Now, West Virginia, because they had Pat White, I supposedly they were in practice, and Rich Rod asked Pat, and this is all from what I was told. In practice, they had a plan, they had a play that was supposed to be progressive. The progression was supposed to be, we're going to hand this off or we're going to pass it. And there's a handful of times where he changed the play. Okay. And it was supposed to be handoff and they took the ball himself. Or it was supposed to be handoff and he ended up passing. So when this happened, I guess Rich Rod asked, why'd you change the play? The answer was, well, the defender chose to show me this, and I made the change. That is what I have heard. I have heard is the birth of what became a sensation. And I don't want to say a sensation across the nation, but it was. In 2005, Adam Bernardic got hurt. I was at that game. He got hurt. Pat White went in. Didn't look like West Virginia was going to win. Let's just put him in, see what happens, kind of lick our wounds, and boom, an explosion. Never thought in a million years that Pat White is not a big guy. And you guys know this. He's not a big dude. He's not thick. He's not rugged. But he is tough as nails. Okay? Like a Texas tick. This guy just, man, you can't kill him. He turned that game around. They end up winning. And the rest is history. And Adam Bernardic, I don't know what the hell happened to him. Okay? God bless him. Didn't play much after that. Then I think he came. Man, I don't remember him playing at all. But Pat White, for those years, 2005, 2006, 2007, it was excitement. Every play was like waiting for to hear the lightning after seeing the strike. Just the thunderclap. It was just like, wow. And you've never seen with Slayton and White the fastest football I have seen. And I have been to probably 70 college football games, from down in LSU to Auburn to Michigan State to Penn State. Shoot, a lot of Army games. Guys, that speed that they had was generational, once in a lifetime. Now you see a lot of fast players now, and there were fast players before. But a fast player along with the fast pace of the no huddle and the energy that Rich Rod gave. Now, I'm going to talk about Rich Rod's history here, but let's talk about Rich Rod in general. What does he bring my concerns? What does he bring that Neil Brown didn't bring? They're like polar opposites, I think. Neil Brown, you have fantastic family atmosphere. There have been complaints while at Michigan it didn't have that family feel. You could say it was a square peg in a round hole. You could say it just wasn't a fit because Michigan's kind of a unique place. But I will tell you this. Pat McAfee, Pat White, a lot of his former players would take a bullet for him, for Rich Rod. Let's forget about the Pitt game and what happened after. Let's think about what happened before. And that's what I keep telling myself when I have that, maybe West Virginia shouldn't pull that plug. Maybe he shouldn't go down that road. Ren Baker should stick to his guns. Because I don't think Rich Rod is Ren Baker's number one pick on his sheet. It might happen. It might be the best solution at the time. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's get back to Rich Rod. So Rich Rod started at Salem as a coach, played for the Mountaineers. Then he took Glenville State to 2 Division I championships and lost them. But from 90 to 96, he had them 3 times in first place. So that's where he started sharpening and honing his coaching skills. Okay. As a head coach, before then he went off to be an assistant coach, I think at Clemson. Then 2001, he was mentioned to be, if I remember correctly, to be a coach at Tulane and at Texas Tech, and Mike Leach got picked up instead of him. Yeah, that's right. And then in 2001, 2001, Don Nehlen retired. Rich Rod took over. So, just so I'm sure a lot of you haven't forgot, they started off rough. That was 3-8. And I remember talking to Joey about this a number of times on the shows. I was not a fan because I was so pissed they lost to Cincinnati in that one year. But in 2002, they went 9-4, 03, 8-5. Now, 03, they beat, if you guys remember, a Virginia Tech team that had a guy, number 7 by the name of Michael Vick, right? 2004, 8-4. 2005 is where they turned it on. And they were sensational. Guys, I remember sitting in Iraq in a dining facility watching the Sugar Bowl and about crying because I was so just overcome with just happiness that Mountaineer team, mind you, playing the Sugar Bowl against Georgia in Georgia. Might as well have been playing. Well, they were playing in the Dogs' backyard. Then 2006, they won the Gator Bowl. They went 11-2. 2007, they're 10-2. They went to the Fiesta Bowl and won. Now, Bill Stewart took that team to the Fiesta Bowl and won. Now, here's where it starts to get a little bit questionable. He's had some success over the past years, okay? But Rich Rod has had his ups and downs. Now, Monken, I'm a big fan of Monken. I would say hire him in a heartbeat. Now, Rich Rod at Arizona was 8-5 the first 2 years, and in his third year, he was phenomenal, guys. They were 10-4. They lost in the Fiesta Bowl, but that was a very good team, okay? Things started to go south in 2015. They went 7-6, and then they were 3-9 and 16. Seemed like he was kind of riding the ship a little bit in 2017, and then he had some problems, allegations of inappropriate relations. So, I guess there was sexual harassment. I don't know. That's what was mentioned in the articles that I read today. So that makes you kind of just question whether Ren Baker would be just totally put off by that. But fast forward, that's 2017. He went, did some analytical work for one of the broadcasters, one of the big ones, and then, was hired on different assistant jobs, and I think Louisiana State as like an offensive coordinator, but then Jackson State picked him up. Now here's Jackson State has not been a Division I team for very long. Okay. In 2022, he took that team to a 9-2 record. 2023, 9-4. Okay. They played in a bowl game, they won. This year, they're 9-4, and they're going to be playing in a bowl game. So, and the excitement at his conference championship game with his players I've seen Neil Brown excited, but the players are excited with him. Neil Brown's pretty reserved. Heck of a guy. Great man. The kids there at West Virginia now can't say enough great things about him. Okay? But Neil Brown has said West Virginia has penthouse dreams and an outhouse budget. That's exactly what Rich Rod was complaining about in 2007. Do you think, as a West Virginia fan watching this show, while West Virginia's playing basketball, do you think the purse strings are going to magically open up and Ren Baker is going to get some extra money if Mike Monken comes in? If another coach comes in other than Rich Rod? I think that is steering Ren Baker's decision from his pick. He has his pick, guys. Don't tell me he doesn't. Talk to too many people that can confirm that he has a pick. It's whether or not he's going to pull the trigger. He's being deliberate. Brad Smith said it, and I agree with this. Brad Smith is very, very controversial. But if it was going to be Jimbo Fisher, it would have happened a lot sooner than now. So it's not Jimbo Fisher. We all know that. So Rich Rod is on the table. And I've heard they're working things out, and that's going to be the decision. Now, you can piss and moan all you want because I don't have the news for you. But I'm taking you down memory lane. I'm giving you a rundown of the two best options. You can like it, you can lump it. But I'm a fan first and foremost. I am not a journalist. Okay? I did work at the military academy from 2002 to 2006. Okay? That is a fact. I know people that work there now. And guys, Jeff Monken is a class guy. He is a little bit of a dog, like it can be a little bit, get after it. He's competitive, has the good family values and the good ethical and moral compass that Neil Brown has. He would be a safe pick. But Mountaineer fans, do you want to have an outhouse budget with penthouse dreams? And I think with Rich Rod, the ceiling's not as high, but you're going to have less of a weight to get to those 9-win seasons, 10-win seasons. And with his age, he has 10 years of good coaching ahead of him. He's not going to be looking for another job. This is the last end of his career. What better way to right wrongs in your home state, at your alma mater, and where you made a name for yourself, than coming back home? Let's go to the chat, and then I'll talk a little bit more. Yes, WV fan. Candidates will start to wither off the vine. And Ren Baker, basically, the longer you go, the choice is going to be made for him. Now, yeah, Sean, he's not super well. Sean, he would be super exciting if you win. Okay. I'm sure the people at West Point think he's freaking fantastic, and he's exciting. But no, he's not as charismatic, okay, as Rich Rod. But then again, we have a history with Rich Rod. We know what Rich Rod brings to the table. And W Fan says no thanks. Yeah, everybody is on the the injury bug has bit the basketball team. And I just got to give them a shout out because, guys, this is a football channel. But Ren Baker, his hiring of DeVries right now seems to be just a stroke of genius. Okay. We'll see how long these folks are out injured. Roger Klein, Purdue got their man. Marshall got Gibson. And let's give Tony Gibson, let's give old Gibby some love. Let's give him some love. Okay. Marshall, the Thundering Herd, got their guy. I heard a report that Marshall, everyone's going to transfer. Is this kind of the new norm? A successful coach at a successful team, they all transfer, maybe with him or without him. I don't know. Bill Belichick is so, man, he's an older dude. I don't know what they're thinking. Man. But he has like a 26-year-old girlfriend. Bill Belichick. God bless you. I don't know how you're handling that. Yeah, Jimbo Fisher. Well, I think they couldn't, Kelly, I think they couldn't come to an agreement. I think they could not. I think they were too far off. And here's the thing with Jimbo. Everybody I talk to that are Aggies and people that have interacted with him all share one thing. They all say he's a complete horse's ass to deal with. The other thing is the culture. He would want the kids to wear button-up shirts, tuck in their shirts. I'm a big fan of that, but right now that's not gonna bode well for the NIL and recruiting. Eric, Monken would be a great choice. Well, Eric's in the house. Eric, do you want to come on? I'll send you the link. But Sean Murray, if not Rich Rod, then Monken. I'll watch on TV. No reason to get tickets. That's just it. Let's talk about that. I got season tickets last year. I'm on the fence. I'm really on the fence on whether I'm going to buy tickets next year. Because like you, Sean, there's maybe a handful of games I love to go to early in the season. But as the season goes on, my son's playing varsity football. You know, you have a house, you have a life, you have a job, you have stuff you have to take care of. And it's so nice to turn it on and there it is. You know, go take a leak when you want. Maybe get a sarsaparilla, if you know what I mean, and not have to worry about getting home. But on the back end, let's talk about those lights that the Mountaineers have. Guys, they're phenomenal. It's like being at a Guns N' Roses concert. Or if you're a Swiftie, maybe a Taylor Swift fan, you know, Eric Saab, I know you're a Swiftie. Kelly McCourt, you love your Taylor Swift. So I'm talking to you. If you like that, the lights, the razzle dazzle, I loved it. That Penn State game, that Kansas State game, Kansas State especially, at night with those lights strobing, man, it was fantastic. They had drones. Can't beat it. You don't get that at home. So, Sean, think about that. Maybe buy a mini pack. Sean, buy a mini pack. There you go, brother. I solved your problem. So, Richard, it has been. Turn the page already. HR picking stuff. Yeah, I can see that. It's like bringing back, it's like these people that married their exes after divorcing for years. I don't understand that. But Ren Baker, you guys mentioned in the chat, the options are starting to close. Purdue hired Barry Odom. That's right, HR. So, you know, and Todd agrees with Sean. I'm telling you, HR picking stuff, Antonio Lynn is the next hot coach. Okay. Anton Lynn is the next hot coach. UNLV's offensive coordinator is another head coaching candidate. Whatever happened to Anthony Beck? I'll tell you what happened. Anthony Beck is coached a little in the XFL. I don't think, as they say or has been said, Ren Baker likes the binder. Show up, have the binder, show them exactly what you're going to do, what your plan is if you were to take the job tomorrow. And my understanding is Anthony Beck's binder just wasn't thick enough. NFL player, check. XFL player, check. There's a couple other checks that need to be blocked off. Okay. It's nice to have that NFL. And you know what? He would bring his son, Rocco, from Iowa State here, but I don't know. Now, before we go on, I'm going to close the show with this, but I don't want to forget. I was absolutely, positively, 100% amazed that West Virginia retained the players they have so far. Okay, so far. And they signed the recruiting class that they signed. I think they lost one or two guys. One guy, two guys. Oh my gosh. That is a credit and a testament to Neil Brown. Okay, we've crapped on Neil Brown for a while. But when a coach leaves like Neil Brown did, and the coaching staff there can still talk up a program, the program is on the upswing. This isn't 2018-19, okay, where it's just crash landing. Landing gear is up, and you're just going to belly plant. No, guys. West Virginia is on autopilot. Just need to get a big, badass pilot to steer that thing. That's it. Okay. So I wanted to talk about that briefly. Can you believe that? Can you believe that they have the class that they have signed? I couldn't. I can't. Yeah, Spencer Danielson at Boise State is a great option. That is, and we have another Monken hater. Yeah, Paul Johnson. Now, here's the thing. Just because Monken runs that triple option doesn't mean he's going to run the triple option in Morgantown. He runs that triple option because he has smart kids that are undersized and athletic. It's kind of has to be the thing, you know? In the 60s, it was the veer, you know, where you kind of like everything's angle block, get good angles. Okay. So here, Tim with the basketball. Okay. West Virginia is up at the half. Yeah, that's about time we went live. Try to time it. WVU fan 13 says, I heard from a cousin's brother's mother's dog that Nealon's the next hire WVU. I had to put that on there because that's fantastic. I love it. It's not okay golf. Jason Colson would have scored on that play. Okay. All right. Scott Frost went back to UCF. Why not Rich Roy? Yes, Scott Frost did. And it is it's kind of like, look at Bill Belichick. We're talking about him going to NC State. Him and Nick Saban were the Browns coach from 90 to 94, 4 years. Saban and Bill Belichick on the same squad. And guess what? They sucked. Two greats. One probably the GOAT for the NFL for just coaching the past 20, 30 years. Bill Belichick. Nick Saban in Alabama. You got to kind of be at the right place at the right time, I would have to say. So, Eric Saab says, zone read at Glenville State. QB was reading the end. End crashes in on a dive. QB keeps around the end. The end freezes. QB hands off for the dive. I think that's a lot more articulate than what I had said. So, WV Ragtop, I wouldn't mind having RR back as offensive coordinator. Well, he's not going to come back as an O coordinator, guys. He's not going to do it. Not going to do it. But I think I've covered as much of the chat as I can because we got a lot of guys in here. But, guys, so I will pop on and do another show probably Thursday night. I haven't been doing Thursday night shows. I'm going to do a Thursday night show. We'll talk about this. Guys, there's lots of sources out there with lots of great information, but it's all the same. I hate to be that guy, but until we have a decision, this is where we're at. Ren Baker has his guy, and then, of course, there's the guy, right? I'm hoping that Ren isn't forced into doing something he doesn't feel comfortable with, because that's when mistakes are made. So I hope you guys had a great time here for the last, short of an hour. Let's get back to the West Virginia basketball game. What's Eric saying here? Zone read. Okay, we talked about that. Guys, I want to give you a shout out. Shout out to Joey. Joey's feeling a little bit better. I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and tonight I was going to have him on. He's feeling a little under the weather, so give him your love. Guys, I love coming on here and talking with you, okay? But there's one thing that would make everyone agree. From Princeton to Moundsville to Beckley, hell, even south of Pittsburgh, even folks in Virginia Beach, South Cackalack, Myrtle Beach, even our Mountaineer fans out on the other side of the country. One thing that will unite the Mountaineers fan base, that's winning. Winning will solve all of our problems. And I hope West Virginia wins their bowl game, and we're talking about next year, the new coach, kicking ass, taking names, and we get after it. So thanks a lot, guys. Lots of love. Let's go Mountain.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled around, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative, I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go off, I won't let them win, I'll take a stab. I wanna chase the bag, I wanna weigh, I can change all the things I lack. I gotta face the facts, I got a taste in that. Got me obsessed with the rest, I got an itch to scratch. I'll give up everything. If I could see my dreams, I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality. Don't let go. I'll make things right. 'Cause I'll do anything to make what I want a reality.
I just wanna find a way out, sick of the venom in my brain. Running from the past, wanna escape my pain. I just wanna be a better person, I deserve this, I just wanna break these chains. Always destined for greatness, true to myself, I never fake it. Seen too many ones that I so they get famous. And when I say the truth, most really can't take it. In spite of everything I've been through, I'ma make it. Fake friends, but on my downfall is toxic. Day one, started to outlaws for profit. Now all I do is write verses, no talking. All I do is put the work in, no option. This was everything I ever wanted. Created a legacy off of me, just being honest. And the fake ones hate, but it's all to no avail. They wanna see me lose, but you know I never fail.
I'll give up everything, daunting. If I can see my dream.